13 Colonies News presents Revolution Update, highlights of the American Revolution. Now, here's your up-to-the-minute man, Quentin Quimby.
The American Revolution, a painful but remarkable time in the history of this young country. What to do about the ever-increasing restrictions and penalties imposed by Great Britain and the government of George III. In Boston, there was an act of vandalism and civil disobedience on board the Beaver, anchored in Boston Harbor. Our reporter, Philip Farnsworth.
Yes. Thanks, Quentin. I'm on the deck of the Beaver, and it seems Sam Adams and about 150 colonists with Indian makeup have been raising quite a fuss, apparently over some tea. That's right, I said tea. Excuse me, Mr. Adams.
Yes,
If you talk to our audience for a moment, what's this demonstration all about?
You want to know what it's about? I'll tell you what it's about. We're pretty bugged at King George, that's what. And it's not the tea, it's the rules and regulations on the tea and everything else.
That's right. Because King George and his Great Britain think they can pile on the taxes and not let us into Parliament where we can have a voice in what's going on.
I see. Well, we understand that this is a political demonstration. This is a statement of your feelings. The only thing that I don't understand is, why are you and your men dressed up like Indians?
Oh, you mean, oh, well, you know, sure, the Boston Tea Party is a serious matter, but that doesn't mean we can't have a good time now, does it? And besides that, you know, I was going to get dressed as a pirate, and he was going to be a fireman, but this is the best our wives could come up with at the last minute.
Wives made the outfits,
They
eh,
did.
Sam?
How do you think, huh?
You fun-loving rascal.
Good.
Thank you, Sam Adams, organizer of the Boston Tea Party. Now back to you, Quentin.
Boston Harbor isn't the only place that has had trouble. For a report on a disturbance in the streets, here's Priscilla Trendle.
Well, it's not really a disturbance, Quentin. It's more like some kind of neighborhood prank. All we really know at this time is a silversmith named Paul Revere has been keeping people awake all night, galloping around on his horse and yelling and shouting and just kind of being a general nuisance. We thought we might actually be able to stop Mr. Revere for a moment to find out what all the commotion is about, but it doesn't appear as... wait. I think I hear him coming now. Mr. Revere, I'm Priscilla Trendle with 13 Colonies News, and Mr. Revere, I'm Priscilla Trendle with 13 Colonies, no.
The British are coming! The British are coming!
I don't think that you could have heard what he said. Something about the British are coming. Now, of course, you and I both know that civilized, cultured folks like the British wouldn't really be coming without being invited first. So this must be some kind of publicity stunt for a new show, or Mr. Paul Revere's way of getting a little attention for his silverware. Back to you, Quentin.
Time now for our Creative Careers segment. We have an in-studio guest with us, a Miss Betsy Ross. And this is interesting. Betsy is a flag maker. Welcome, Miss Ross.
Oh, it's really exciting being here, Mr. Quimby, but if I may, I'm a flag designer, not a flag maker. After Congress approves my design, then some company will make them and we'll all have a real American flag to fly for the holidays like the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, now, for the moment everybody has been waiting for, what will the American flag look like?
I can't decide. I brought along a few rough sketches, but I like them all.
What is this?
Oh, I call this crescents and thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
And this is polka dots and moonbeams.
I see.
And this is stripes and stars.
Close.
Oh, but this is my favorite. See how there's stars and 13 stars and stripes for all the colonies?
Mm-hmm.
And a star for each colony. But
what? I think it looks very nice.
well, there seems to be so much space around the stars. Don't you think it looks a little empty?
Well, why don't we leave it the way it is right now?
Maybe I could add a few thunderbolts.
No, I just leave it like this. But if you have any stars around the house, don't throw them away. Somebody may want to make some changes someday. We thank you very much for joining us, Miss Ross. And now, no revolutionary update would be complete without having a look at an important weather story. And here at our weather map is your friend and mine, Point Dexter Traxton.
Well, thank you. You're a real prince of a guy. Better watch those royalty jokes, huh? Oh, hello, how are you? Anyway, the winter of 1777 is really turning into one to remember. Now, there's a front coming down from Canada that looks like trouble for much of the east, but now freezing temperatures and high winds seem to be concentrated right around here. It's Valley Forge, in the area of Pennsylvania. Now, that's bad news for General Washington and his troops in camp there. As you recall, he and most of the Army recently moved out of Philadelphia, and they've been keeping an eye on the British. Remember that? All right. Now it looks, they may turn out to be an unfortunate decision for the Commander-in-Chief, General Washington, and his men, especially now since food supplies will be getting very short, very scarce, very scarce. Oh, we'll be letting you know about that just as soon as there's any break in the weather around Valley Forge. Quentin?
Well, before we go, the management has asked me to read this letter, written to us by a viewer in response to a recent editorial. Mr. Benjamin Franklin of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, writes, "Why don't you guys lay off? You keep spouting off about me going off on a little pleasure trip to France and having all these parties in Paris. It just so happens I'm over here trying to get King Louis XVI to give us a little military help, like General Lafayette and the French Army and Navy. But do you ever talk about that? No! Why don't you guys go fly a kite?" And so wrote Benjamin Franklin of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In future Revolution updates, we'll also be taking a look at an interesting military skirmish in the Lexington Concord area where there was actually a shot heard round the world. And you'll be meeting two dynamic young men, superstars who appear to have a really promising future, Thomas Jefferson and John Paul Jones. Till next time, this is Quentin Quimby